What is up, 4D fam? Welcome back to the channel, guys. I appreciate you guys so much for just sending me recommendations. I know I've been doing not just bikes, pretty much looking up all the whole videos and just going, but I have y'all been sending some specific ones that y'all want to see. So we finna see why the Dutch wait less at traffic lights. Like I mentioned, I didn't see that many in the last previous videos. Like that's what I noticed. I didn't see too many. I'm sure there are, but I didn't see too many. So we finna learn and see. I appreciate you guys for all the support and just keeping me informed, giving me information, even in the comments. Hey, you greatly appreciate it. Hey, keep them coming though. Keep them coming. And then y'all sent me another one. Which one was it? It was another Dutch video, but it's like 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes long. So I'm gonna get to that one. So if y'all be patient with me, I'm gonna get to that one as well. But we're gonna jump right into this one. So y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, send down your recommendations. And as you see at the top, you can follow me on social media up there as well. Let's see.
When I'm traveling somewhere, I hate traffic lights, and I go out of my way to find routes that avoid them. But for some reason, I still find them interesting. I even own a real traffic light at home. When studying engineering in Canada, I had an exam question to design a state machine for a traffic light controller. It had to go green, then yellow, then red, and then repeat in the other direction. Easy enough. I would not want to take that exam question in the Netherlands because traffic lights are way more complicated here. There are several times where I've sat around watching traffic lights in the Netherlands with absolute fascination. Does anyone else do that, or is it just us engineers? Traffic lights in the Netherlands have so many interesting combinations, and they change depending on what traffic is detected and from where.
It's hard to see them.
Most cities in the world have detection circuits at low traffic intersections to detect if there's a stopped car at a red light. But traffic-dependent detectors, which detect approaching traffic and change the signals based on real-time traffic levels, are used at the majority of intersections in Amsterdam.
I think that's a good thing because sometimes I'll be wondering if that's how our street lights work, traffic light works as well. But then again, you have those days where it's like you see nobody coming and you still sitting at a red light.
Signals based on real-time traffic levels are used at the majority of intersections in Amsterdam. And these kind of signals are much more common in the Netherlands in general than in other countries. The North American traffic engineering profession was created to manage cars, and it shows. The movement of cars is the absolute highest priority over everything else. In the Netherlands, there are two priorities at traffic lights. First is to minimize conflict, to reduce the number of times any road user will cross the path of any other, for safety. The second is to optimize the movement of as many people as possible, not just as many cars.
I guess more people riding bikes than driving cars.
And that makes the road function much more efficiently.
That's crazy.
Here's an example from a new intersection I cross every day. As you can see, there's a countdown timer for the bicycle light, which is nice. But there are loops in the ground to detect bicycles not just at the light, but also several meters before the light. And the same is done for car traffic. If the controller detects that a
I think that's cool. Like, they got a traffic light for cyclists. That's real cool. Like, I've never seen that. Like, I know for sure we don't have that down here. I seen that sign though, that little bicycle sign. I seen that before, so I think we have that. I believe it just depends on where you're at. But I've seen that sign before. But that's cool. That's cool.
And the same is done for car traffic. If the controller detects that a cyclist is approaching and the intersection could be clear, then it will make the light red for cars and speed up the countdown timer to let cyclists get through without stopping. It's always so satisfying to watch the timer count down in only a few seconds, just because it detected my bike.
That's good. That's a good thing.
It's green for everyone in that direction. But in the Netherlands, many signals work independently. So when there's a chance for one direction to go without interfering with another, then they're given that opportunity. In this example, the bicycle light is green in both directions, here and here, because there are no cars detected going straight through, allowing this girl on the bike to turn left without stopping. Yet this time, the far signal is not green, so these cyclists need to stop to allow these cars to go through. On larger intersections, pedestrians may be given a green light to cross partway
All right,
instead of having
okay.
to
I
wait
seen
until
the.
the
I
full
know
intersection
I
is
know
clear to
about the
start walking.
pedestrian stops.
If a tram arrives, it will be given priority, and that section of the pedestrian.
Oh, that's a train. A street train? A highway train? It looks like it's attached to something in the sky.
Intersection is clear to start walking.
That little wire.
If a tram
up
arrives,
top.
it will be given priority.
Yeah, it
and
looks
that
like it's
section of the
attached to that
pedestrian
thing.
crossing
That
will be
little
red.
wire up top.
In North America, almost all crossings are single phase, which prevents the intersection from responding to real-time traffic levels. That simplicity is not only inefficient, but if you're walking or cycling, it can also be really scary because you have a long distance to travel and cars can cross your path in multiple places.
And not to mention, people that are impatient, they'll be right there up on you before they trying to make that turn. At least they waited, but it'll be people that'll be right up on you, just impatient.
Cross your path in multiple places. It's for this reason that Dutch traffic signals can let pedestrians and cyclists have their own signal while cars are given a red light. Notice here that cyclists are given a green light to make a left
past
turn,
them.
while all car traffic is stopped, making this an extremely safe crossing. Pedestrians are also allowed to cross here, in the bottom left, because they do not cross paths with those left-turning cyclists.
Okay, so I have a, and y'all can answer this in the comments. So when it's green for the cyclist, does that also mean green for pedestrians? Like if they're in the same intersection? Because I would think, all right, if they letting the bikes go, that means I can walk through as well. I haven't seen, maybe we haven't got to that yet, but it looked like while the bikes light was green, the cyclist traffic light was green, they was already walking as well. So we're gonna see.
This is an interesting circumstance where cyclists are given a green in two directions at once. This results in the cyclist on the left needing to wait briefly here, but it allows the cyclist to get through in one light cycle. I didn't see this happen in any other light cycle, so the system must have detected a buildup of cyclists and optimized for it.
Man.
I also really appreciate that there are no right turns on a red light for cars here, which is good because this is a ridiculously pedestrian-unfriendly rule.
Dang.
A US study found that allowing cars to turn right on red resulted in a 69% increase in crashes with pedestrians.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I be doing that, guys. You see that light red, but see, luckily here we don't have too many people walking around. But when it's red and you got that right away, I be turning.
A US study found that allowing cars to turn right on red resulted in a 69% increase in crashes with pedestrians and cyclists.
I can see why, though.
tightly controls when right turns can be made, which not only significantly increases the safety of people outside of cars, but also ensures that the path is clear for right-turning cars. It allows more advanced light combinations as well. Watch how this tram turns left, while these cars in the foreground can turn right, while no pedestrians or cyclists are allowed to cross it their way. With no right turn on red, pedestrians can be given a head start. Notice how these people are halfway through the intersection before the bicycles and cars are allowed to go. These leading pedestrian signals are still quite rare in North America, but they significantly increase pedestrian safety from right-turning cars. One Chicago study found a 13% decrease in collisions with people walking.
Now we have those little under the traffic lights where you can press the buttons. Like I said, mentioned down here where I live, there's not too much walking because it's not like traveler's destination type. But like in Dallas and Austin, San Antonio, they have those because like downtown is pretty major in those cities, those major cities. So it's a lot of walking going on. So for me being going to Dallas, times went to San Antonio, Austin, had to press the button, you know, and it gave that signal. Still had to wait a little bit, just depends on the timer. I think it puts up a timer most times, you know.
One Chicago study found a 13% decrease in collisions with people walking when leading pedestrian signals were used.
Yep.
I find that intersections here are very pedestrian friendly in general. Watch these people cross. They come up to the crossing, press the beg button, and the light changes immediately for them.
What?
The way most traffic lights are programmed in North America, that will almost never happen.
At all. I'll tell you, I just mentioned it. It takes at least, They give them at least like 15 seconds. It takes like it does like a 15-second countdown when you press it. And sometimes it don't even give you a countdown.
Almost never happen. In car-centric cities, you have a very narrow window of time to push that button, or you'll be waiting a whole light cycle to try again. Watch what happens when this man presses the beg button. The light was red, but the pedestrian signal doesn't come on, because it was pressed too late. The light turns green for cars, of course, but there's no walk signal, so these people are technically crossing illegally. It's completely ridiculous, but North American traffic engineers go out of their way to avoid slowing down drivers by having those pesky pedestrians in the way. Pedestrians and cyclists are seen as a nuisance that get in the way of drivers, rather than people who are also trying to get somewhere. What's worse is that buses and streetcars are almost always stuck in traffic because traffic engineers and politicians don't want to take away any space from cars to make a dedicated transit lane, even though it would ultimately speed up car traffic. Thankfully, in the Netherlands, public transportation has the highest priority and almost always gets a green light. It doesn't matter what else is happening at this intersection, this tram is going through right now. Often, the only time a tram will be at a red light is when it's ahead of schedule, or when another transit vehicle is crossing first. This is the obvious and sane thing to do, because a bus or tram will usually have dozens of people on it.
And see, I think we got those transit buses, like I said, in the major cities. I know Dallas has one, and I feel like it's on its own road. It's on its own road too, like that. But yeah, like down here, it's because there's so much traffic. They just want those cars go, and still traffic out there.
It's too much traffic. Because a bus or tram will usually have dozens of people on it who should clearly have priority. It's not that cities in the US and Canada don't have sophisticated traffic light control systems, they do. This document describes a system used in Toronto. They even have the capability for transit signal priority. It's just that these systems are almost exclusively used to keep car traffic flowing, and are rarely used to prioritize any other modes of travel, or to ensure the safety of other road users. For example, even in this fully separated and dedicated streetcar lane in Toronto, the streetcar gets stuck at this red light. But they won't install transit signal priority here because it would, and I quote, fatally disrupt operations on intersecting streets.
What?
That's engineer speak for, screw the people on that streetcar, there are drivers who have important places to go.
Everybody have important places to go. And see, I went to school for engineering. I had to get out of that. My mind was going crazy in engineering.
Screw the people on that streetcar, there are drivers who have important places to go. Here's another example from Toronto that used to drive me crazy. At this light, some streetcars turn left and have their own signal. Of course, being Canada, it's not a priority signal, but that's not the most infuriating part. When turning left, they don't want pedestrians to cross the street in front of the streetcar, so they block the walk signal here. But because these traffic lights are stupid, it also blocks the walk signal here, where there aren't even any tracks, because the two pedestrian signals are linked. They do, of course, give drivers a green light here, because drivers are super important people who have super important places to go, but pedestrians are left literally standing in the cold, waiting, for no good reason.
Wow.
With the independent signals in the Netherlands...
Dang, it looks like Canada more messed up than down here. Because at least ours, when it's green on one side, they do turn the signal lights on for people to walk.
This should never happen here. There are so many other interesting traffic light combinations in the Netherlands, such as intersections where cyclists get a green signal in all directions, or even traffic signals.
I know I've been watching plenty of videos with cyclists and stuff, but that's just amazing to me to see that many people on bikes. Man, I'm gonna get a bike for Christmas.
Prioritize bicycles when it's raining, but I think I'll save those topics for the next time I visit Groningen. I don't know of any intersections in the Netherlands that use a pedestrian scramble like you'll see in cities like London, but I have a feeling that when pedestrian volumes become that high in Dutch cities, the whole area will become pedestrianized instead, which is better for people walking anyway. Of course, alternative to traffic lights such as roundabouts are sometimes used, but that's a topic for another day. And there are even some intersections in Amsterdam where traffic lights have been removed completely. This is possible if car traffic is reduced enough in speed and frequency, and this will definitely be a topic for a future video. So I may hate traffic lights. Oh, no, not you, no, it's okay. It's okay. But the Netherlands proves that it's possible to design more efficient traffic lights that move as many people as possible, not just as many cars as possible, and they can also significantly reduce points of conflict, making the roads safer for everyone.
I feel like they should have like detectors or signals down here, at least detectors or signals or a camera or something that can count and see how many cars were there first before the others start approaching, because sometimes we be having like long lines of cars trying to turn at a light that's we sitting there. You sit there for like at least 2 or 3 minutes, then the light is only on for like 10 seconds, so only if there's about 10 cars in line, only about 3 to 5 can go.
People as possible, not just as many cars as possible, and they can also significantly reduce points of conflict, making the roads safer for everyone. The technology is there, but the smartest cities are the ones that actually use it. I'd like to take this moment to thank my supporters on Patreon who pay me to stand around at traffic lights for an uncomfortably long period of time. If you'd like to support the channel, visit patreon.com/notjustbikes. I also want to thank Matt from beyondtheautomobile.ca, who is an actual urban designer who knows what he's talking about. Matt helped me keep this video factually correct and provided the clips from Ottawa, Canada. Link to his urban planning blog can be found below. And finally, if you know of any particularly interesting traffic lights in the Netherlands, please let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for more traffic lights to stare at.
Nice. I guess that's it. Alright, that was pretty detailed, good video about traffic lights, cause like I mentioned, it do suck down here, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, he has a point. It's more designed for cars down here in North America, rather up there in Europe, Netherlands. It's designed for more pedestrian walking and cyclists. So I think that is good. But yeah, it can suck though. It can suck unless you're on the highway, but the highway is still gonna bring traffic. You stuck at a light, it still sucks. So yeah, good video though. I like this video. My first time ever seeing a cyclist light. I never knew they had though. Like I always seen a sign, but I never knew they had like actual street lights for them. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate you guys for recommending this. Hey, make sure y'all send some more recommendations down. Let me know what you want to see, because I know I'm going to do a lot of not just bikes, but if y'all have some other videos, in which I got some that a couple of you have sent, definitely going to check it out. I appreciate you guys. And just learning more. But that's all I have for this video. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Send down your recommendations. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and you got Snap. Hey, if you like to support the channel, we have a donate option in the link. It is in the description. I appreciate you guys. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.